What's good? What's good? We are back. One and only Paul Pickett, host of the Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. So we about to have a special guest live all the way from Puerto Rico. So hopefully the connection is good, and he will be fighting in Albuquerque for BKFC. I think that's February 28th. And let's bring on the one and only Jay Action Jackson. Jay, what's good, man?
Yo, what's up, dog?
How's the
Oh,
weather there?
man, it's raining today. I can't even. I can't even give you that sunshine. Are you somewhere where it's cold?
Yeah, well, I'm in North Carolina. We iced out,
Oh,
man.
okay. You got iced out. Dude, the South got
Yeah,
fucking hit, bro. Isn't that fucking funny?
yeah.
Florida even got snow, bro. Yeah, dude. Like my rents was like
You
taking pictures of Atlanta, and they had they had like a full like fucking inch. They were like making snowmen and shit. I'm like, damn, fuck that. Oh,
yeah, I
snow.
seen Kai Stewart's up there and he's in Washington now. He's over there making igloos.
Fuck that. I mean, I like watching. There's this YouTuber I watch. I think it's like Outdoor Boys or some shit. I like watching them niggas do that shit in Alaska, but I like watching that shit. But man, that cold weather. Ooh. I
So
mean,
so it's been some months now since your last fight though, right?
hell yeah, fun Clearwater in
What has it been? Almost like 10 months?
April, man. Yeah,
So
April.
that's about 10 months.
Yeah.
April
I've done
last
so
year.
much shit though. Hell yeah, but I've done so much shit in between that time. But like, yeah, 10 fucking months, man. But I mean, it's all right. I don't know. I mean, like for like I got 7 fights. I got seven. This would be my eighth.
Okay.
So, I can say politely that I've been active. You know what I mean? But it's always, I mean, like, the perfect timing is never, it's never, there's no such thing as perfect timing right now, especially with bare knuckle, especially since it's such a new thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm just happy to have as many fights as I've had with the organization so far. But yeah, like my last fight was 10 months ago. We had we had about two or three fights that one almost went down, but I can't go into details
Yeah.
and whatever and be a prick. But there was no. What I'm saying is that there was some things scheduled and they didn't work out. But it was nothing on my end.
Yeah.
Like I was ready to go. The funny part is the story would be completely different if those other fights would have happened. You know what I mean? But like, those fights didn't happen. So shit happens. And then I decided to, because more time gets spread out.
Yeah.
And you need to do something. Yeah, man, and be active and stuff like that. So before you know it, I just do like a lot of shit and stay really consistent. And then before now I got Albuquerque, New Mexico. Let's go. You know.
So in the first interviews, I like to really get to, know who I'm interviewing,
Right.
beyond just the fight coming up. So I want to start with some past things and then we'll kind of ride into the new fight. So you start out MMA and on your bio it said you really struggled against the submission. Was that true?
Fuck yeah. Fucking grappling, man. Okay. I dude, like it was just I couldn't stand. Okay, so grappling anxiety is so real, and I can grapple. Okay, I can, dude. I'm super good. I've even won tournaments, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, fuck all that shit when you try to hit a motherfucker, man. Like, real talk. And I mean, like, because like I'll get takedowns. I've won by submission. Like, so like I get it when MMA, but then I just had a hard time with that shit, man. Like. I'll have some good rounds where I can scramble, but then like, you go against a D1 fucking ass grabber, and they're on your ass the whole time, just wanting to run into the hug, man. And I had fun with that for a minute. And then like I'll do a lot of jujitsu. I even did judo in college. Uh, I did a jiu-jitsu tournament in Thailand and got gold and but it's just like I just couldn't stand the grappling part. Yeah, I mean, so as I've gone pro and getting fights and stuff like that, you get matched up against these really good grapplers and you get fucked with it.
So you think that would make bare knuckle a lot more fitting for you, so you don't got to deal with grappling and stuff like that?
Bare knuckle's dope as fuck because it's faster paced. There's less to think about. You know what I mean? And it's not. I mean, like I said, I respect. Like I even do grappling in my bare knuckle camps because of
Okay.
grips and because
Uh-huh.
of underhooks and because there's techniques in jujitsu that you can use in bare knuckle. But the
Okay.
problem is, it's just like you just not. But it's a button once again. Bare knuckle and jujitsu and MMA, it's all different shit. You know what I mean? And when you get down on the ground, you know what I mean? It's really it's like the science of fighting is all the same. You know what I mean? You have two sides. You have your left and right. You know what I mean? And if someone has one on two on you, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? You need to make your one fitting because that guy with two has two different parts that he needs to think about. He has got to think about his left side. He's got to think about his right side. You know what I mean? You have to try to stay in the gray area in the middle with your one. And that's kind of how fighting is. You know what I mean? And all
Okay.
fighting. But then once you add MMA, now you got MMA, right? You got kicks,
Uh-huh.
takedowns, you got hands, you got durability, you got endurance. You know what I mean? It's a lot. Yeah, man. Like it's complete. Like you can, and that's why like fighting is kind of fading away. It's like MMA is kind of fading away. It is because everyone's being more strategic. Yeah,
Mhm.
man. And it's just like that person who's now, like now it's hybrided out to where that person who was easy to take down now does it's not easy. Now knows how to stand up, but he knows how to keep it on the ground the whole time. Or he's really good at jujitsu, so they don't want to be they don't want to be on the ground no more. You know what I mean? So pretty much you get like fucking 45 minutes of them trying to figure out what move they're going to fucking make. And, you might get 30 seconds of an actual real back and forth combat. What
Yeah.
bare knuckle is, you know what I mean? Because you got uppercuts, you got crosses, you got uppercuts, you got crosses, you got haymakers, and you got durability and cardio. So it's way more easier to control that for me than the mayhem that MMA brings. You know, I mean, especially with my fighting style. I'm a brawler. I just want to pop. You know what I mean? But, you know, when it comes to that slow, strategic art of mixed martial arts, it's just like I couldn't stand grappling. And once we cut that out, once it gets cut out, you know what I mean? It's a whole different sport. You know what I mean? So, I respect it and I still do it. Love MMA. But, I fucked the ground. I couldn't stand it as a pro. And I'm honest. I'm honest and just
Yeah.
real with it. You know what I mean? I'm just real with it. It is what it is. But I still have like I said, I've grappled with some good black belts. I've grappled with a Gracie. You know what I mean, in Thailand. So like, I know I have something down there, you know what I mean? But it's just something I just wasn't. If I can only explain it, uh, I can only explain it separately. You know what I mean? Like I can do grappling, I can do kickboxing, I can do this, but you put in an MMA ring, you know what I mean? It's just it's a whole different thing. It's a tool that I don't like.
So you made your debut for BKFC 19 versus Damon Bell, ended in a knockout in the third round. Now, was bare knuckle what you expected it to be at that point?
um, Bare knuckle was okay. So once I got into it, uh, let's see. I think that was around. I think it was like bare knuckle is so fast paced, and like okay, I go back to the fast pace. Okay, let me go back to like it's a knife fight. Like either you get hit, knocks you out, or it cuts you really bad.
Yeah.
So, but it's not. but it didn't feel no different, than what I've dealt with as a performer. That's something I do have, I guess, like a pro side, or like if we had the stats,
Mm.
experience would be at a 9. You know, I even had I was an amateur. I was in amateur boxing. I was in amateur MMA. I was in, so being in those different type of spotlights is not the biggest problem. The biggest difference was just the fact that I was worried about how I was going to feel to get hit by a bare knuckle for
Hmm.
the first time, without no pads.
Yeah.
And that was like the biggest getaway that I got from it. But once I got, like that first 30 seconds of the fight, or like the first like 10 seconds, it's all right, this is what it is. Man, like, it's knives, it's cuts, it burns, but it doesn't, but if it does, but like if a good one does, it puts you out. But it is what it is.
Now, even though the fights are 2 minute rounds, were you like for that first fight? Were you tired at all going into that third?
Nah.
Nah.
No, I was fine. Like, I mean, you want to get tired,
Yeah.
you know, like it's weird about fighting. You kind of like, okay, look, maybe that's just me being insane, but you want, like, being in the third round, was I tired? Yay and nay, but like I work out so much where it's just like, all right, cool. The heart's racing a little bit, and I gotta bench press 300 pounds. You know what I mean? So let's go. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not saying like, oh, I love being tired. Fuck no. But like sometimes like the biggest times that you gas, and sometimes I've even overcame those. It's like the punches you miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like the punch that you expect to fucking nail this motherfucker with, and you fucking miss. Drains a motherfucker out. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. It will drain you out. And that's the type of gas out that you don't want. You know what I mean? But if you gas out because it's at the third round, then that's when it comes into like that's more like irresponsibility of you being a fighter if that happens. And I don't feel like I was tired in that third round. You know what I mean? I just felt like it was the third round. Like, all right, cool. So defense, offense, ins, outs, that type of shit. That's where my mind goes. You know what I mean? When it comes to the cardio or the tired thing in the fight.
So I want to get in your next fight. That was Isaac Doolittle. That went all 5 rounds. Do you
Yeah.
feel like the refs got that right? Because that was
No.
a close. That was a close fight. I was looking at the
No.
punches thrown and the
Fuck no.
punches landed. It was really close.
I won. I'm just kidding. But look, just because I'm a fan, I'm a J fan. Uh, like, of course I won. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. I won, but it was close enough for me to go whatever. It almost got stopped, guys, in the first round. It almost got stopped. It was one flab of skin away from being stopped. You know what I mean? Would have changed history, but it didn't. So we had to keep going. And I think I got playback from people saying they thought I won. They don't really talk about it, so whatever. But I think it was close enough to say I think I'm confident to say that I could have I won that fight. You know what I mean? And that's why it didn't hurt that bad. You know what I mean? Because I don't think a lot of people did question it or whatnot. Me and Dula were cool at the end, and I met his wife and met his coaches and everything. And Kansas is dope. You know, it was a hockey fight. At the beginning, we dude, that shit was so funny. And we expected that shit. I was waiting for him to come in because I knew he wanted to grab, but I was like, hey, I'll fucking there. You know what I mean? I'm fucking there. You know what I mean? And we had that moment there. But I think, yeah, I'm Team J, so of course I think I've won that fight. It's not going to change anything, though. Like fuck it. And but it was a great fight. I think I mean displayed more. I mean, I think Kansas loved that shit. But we got showed by Julian and Caveman. So, but at least we had like two back-to-back bangers. I felt like, and uh, yeah, like Dulo's tough as fuck. He's a tough little fuck, and there was I mean, I can go and bitch about it. I mean, but it ain't gonna change nothing. But I'm happy it wasn't like at least I didn't get KO'd or anything like that for the second one. And you had
Yeah.
back to back showings
Yeah.
like that. I mean, you had the Damon Bell, which was the fucking one of the coolest knockouts in the fucking world. I even love that fucking KO. I'm like, damn, that shit was tight. And I set that motherfucker up. I set it up beautifully. But and then you got a duo fight, which we were fucking like it's a straight up fucking
Yeah.
rising shit. And we banged it out for like them last 4 rounds. I mean, like we were going at it and stuff like that. And yeah, once again, what I was telling you, when you get tired, man, it's because you might have a fifth round where you might get tired. I mean, like a motherfucker wants to grapple you and fucking and hug you a little bit. I mean, that's a whole different muscle muscle category, a whole different thing. I mean, to be prepared for. But we still banged it out for them 5 rounds, and you know, and like I said, if I would have got KO'd, I would have been mad, but it wasn't, and I think it was really close, and I think I won that. I had people texting me, saying that stuff, and I'm like, thanks, what I mean, but ain't nothing we can do about it. So,
So
and
let's
even
get
like and live, oh yeah, and it was live scoring too. It was
uh-huh.
live scoring, and we still had like 30 seconds at the end waiting for the judges for that fight. I mean, so it was that close. So.
So let's get into that next fight which you won. That went 5 rounds, fifth round knockout. And there was something that
You talking about
you
Terry?
said, yeah,
That was four.
Terry. Oh, that was your fourth fight? Or four
No,
rounds?
that was four. No, it was 4 rounds. 4 rounds.
Okay,
But
they
go
got
ahead.
a
Yeah,
they
yeah.
got a yeah, they got it wrong on the website and whatnot. But before the interview, there was an interview you did where you said you only focused on footwork before that fight. Do you feel like you were lacking on footwork before that fight?
Um, yeah, yay and nay. When it comes to now, like I said, I'm an MMA vet, so you gotta you gotta get more comfortable because you're not going that low no more.
Hmm.
I mean, like you're not checking kicks and you're not sprawling for takedowns. So you gotta think lower. So think your toes. I mean, and know that there's places that you can now be comfortable at. I mean, in the ring now because no one ain't gonna shoot a million miles away to try to go for a
Yeah.
takedown. No
Yeah,
one's
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
throw a
yeah.
spin. No one's throwing a kick. So you got to. I don't get. I mean, like, and maybe I'm throwing away some unspoken secrets, but
Yeah.
you gotta readjust for that. I mean, when you go from bare knuckle to MMA or from different combat sports, all of them. I mean, if you're in kickboxing, you can get away with being a little bit more square because you can throw a knee. I mean, you can throw an elbow. I
Yeah.
mean, you got something that's coming lower from your hands to an uppercut to now knee to foot. Now with bare knuckle, now there's nothing down there they can do to you except either A, hit you in the back of the head, or
Yeah.
B clinch you down too much where they push you down. Now, note that that's for me analyzing other fights, not my own. I mean? I
Okay.
know myself. I mean? Like I know myself and I know, the bullshit. I mean? But what I'm saying is, it's just like the reason why I worked on more footwork that time now is that because now I can. I
Mhm.
mean, it's a whole new step now, and bare knuckles it's a whole new dance step, it's a whole new rhythm. So, you got to adjust for that for sure.
So you fought Jared Warren. Like, what was the game plan going into that? And was that like one of your most disappointing ones?
That one sucked. Um, head case mount, head case. Um, you know, uh, no excuses. I mean, because once again, I don't think I looked terrible. It was literally something that was in my head.
It,
Um,
it seemed like
you,
that. It felt
yeah.
like you had no energy in that fight or something. Just watching it.
It was so weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I can, and because that's the fight game, man. Because you got life and then you got performance life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And life's unpredictable. I'm not saying that's something that happened in my life that was crazy. No, just life sucks.
Yeah.
So, and usually I can control when things bother me, but then, sometimes things just bother you. There was a lot of there was just a lot of things. And then plus, ha ha ha, he's a southpaw, and I have two different perspectives when you fight a southpaw.
Okay.
And one of the game plans for the southpaw was the footwork thing, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm doing the footwork thing perfectly, but I'm not engaging. And then I get scared, or whatnot. Because I'm like, I want to do the footwork right. I want to do the footwork right. But the thing is that if you get too focused on one thing, like everyone call it ADHD, whatever, whatever. I was like, no, you got your anxiety. You're about to fight one of the number one middleweights in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
That could have got me where I could have been fighting Richmond or whatever, whatever. You got all those,
Yeah.
thoughts that are true but aren't. But this is the moment that can change everything. And I had that going on, and I was really focused on, oh well, he's this God guy, and he's not.
Yeah.
It was just the fact, like, I was so focused on that step over and
So you were
over again, and I was
overthinking it?
doing great,
Were you
and I just wasn't
overthinking it?
engaging. Oh, 100%. And I just
Yeah.
didn't over, and I just didn't, I wasn't engaging for it. By the time I started getting hit, though, I'm bleeding. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm bleeding, because I'm so focused on this stupid step
Yeah.
over and over again. And yeah, it was such a fuck. They put a microphone in my face before I walked out. That was hilarious. And I was like, what the fuck? Great. He was my last opponent's, teammate. So, and know that I did not have nothing on Jarrett Warren other than, whatever. But he had, like, even in one of his old interviews, he even said, he's like, oh yeah, he fought one of my teammates. So we had it down. And that was my last fight. So he had so many good things, to work with. And I was like, hey, that's cool. I love challenges, real shit. These aren't excuses. These are just challenging things that we have to go through as fighters. These things happen.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I was like, so I got to change shit up. That was on my mind. I got to change shit up. And I forgot that I needed to engage. And I didn't get, and so like that was kind of what was going on. And before you know it, I got hit with something dumb clean, and I
Yeah.
was already getting hit over and over again because I kept making that dumb. Uh, it wasn't even like a dumb step, but it was just like I kept worrying about that step over and over again. Where then I ended up fucking running into his fucking fist anyway because of the southpaw advantage. Now I've worked out. The funny part is now I've worked it great. Now
Yeah.
I know what I'm going to do to a southpaw now. But in that situation, it was just like I'm going against a southpaw. He's been fucking. He's worked with my last fighters, and I need to work on this step over and over and over again. And that's kind of what went down with that fight. And props to him. Hey man, for not doing anything stupid.
Well, what
And staying to a scene, but
wasn't your
whatever.
next fight with a southpaw too? David Simpson's a southpaw too, right?
No. So
Uh,
David Simpson switched,
oh,
and
he
I caught it.
switches. Yeah, that's right. He
He
switches.
switched.
Yeah.
His ass switched, and I caught it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. He switched. Like he didn't know he don't fight southpaw. He just got to he okay. A lot of people who switch stances, they it's because we naturally switch stances as human beings. When we walk, we're naturally switching stances.
Okay.
So if you switch stances and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, I'm just going to throw a cross because I just know you're coming forward. You're
Yeah.
stepping forward.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a southpaw, you know how to play southpaw. You're a motherfucker, and you know how to go forward. But if your initial step, if your initial thing is to walk forward, and you call it switching, that also is an indicator that you just don't know how to keep a stance. So there's a more and more likely there's a chance that you're going to step forward. You know what I mean? So I ain't got to do anything. I can just stand there and wait for you, especially if you switch. You know what I mean? So it's very common in fighting. You know what I mean? Some people are really good at it, some people aren't. I'm not saying that Simpson was terrible at it, but I'm saying is I caught it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because that was the big that if you were watching if you watched my last fight against Jarrett Warren,
Uh-huh.
you would think that like, oh, he's got a big problem with southpaws. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, whatever. What a bad night, whatever. So then like you might think like, oh well, if I switch southpaw, that's gonna
Yeah.
fuck with him. And I'm going to say to anyone out there to suck my dick because I know what I'm doing now. So fuck with me and see what happens. You know what I mean? If you think you're a switch fighter, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what happened with Simpson. He tried to switch fight on me, learned his lesson, and then it was just, that's just what went down. You know what I mean? And then we had to fight. The rest of the fight.
Yeah, you said before the fight you went in angry on that fight. Was that because the results of the fight before that?
Nah, dude, I went in that fight angry because I just got done watching John Wick
Oh, I love
weigh-ins.
John Wick. I love
The
John
last,
Wick.
so the last John Wick came out during weigh-ins, and I went to the movies that night after weigh-ins, and
Yeah.
I had 127 kills in my head from John Wick when I got in that ring because that movie was good as fuck. So like I was just
Yeah.
thinking about John Wick whooping ass while I was whooping ass, that night. So yeah, I want to thank John Wick for helping me out because I had 120 some kills in my head. Because I went to like right after weigh-ins because weigh-ins was like late. So I'm talking about like straight to the movies. Went and
Yeah.
watched John Wick, went to sleep, woke up the next morning from fucking fresh off the John Wick train and fought Dave. So I had all that shit in my head when I fought Dave.
So, you be training with Elvin Brito in Puerto Rico a lot. Like, what is that? What's that like down there?
Man, Rico, like we're in Manabo and quiet. You know what I mean? It's very we're right next to the beach and we're
Okay.
surrounded by like some properties like like you remember the Ricky Martin? Remember that
The
guy from the 90s?
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like I think he has some old real estate down here and shit. And but we're always like I said, like we're down by the beach. We got a mountain that I like to run called La Pica. And we run that bitch like every Monday. And then we got like last staff. And we run that bitch every other week. And Elvin's a former BKFC champ, you know what I
yep,
mean?
yep,
And when you got these type of resources, you know what I mean? Like, UFC fighters train with UFC fighters, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And K1 kickboxers train with K1 kickboxers, blah, 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 blah. So I'm the same way. Trust me, I have amazing coaches in Florida. Koi Muay Thai and Newport Richie, dope. Me and Ronnie had great chemistry. But that's Muay Thai. But we were doing only hands, but it's Muay Thai style. Since I've done Muay Thai and stuff like that, I like to have a Muay Thai coach because there's Muay Thai things, single arm clinches and single arm single. There's like a lot of clinch work that you can do in Muay Thai. You know what I mean? Single hand
Uh-huh.
clinch work you can work with Muay Thai that you can add with your combinations that you can't necessarily add on with a boxing coach. If that makes any sense, because a boxing coach is going to really work on your stance and keep you narrow and your footwork and all that good stuff. But like with Muay Thai is more of a forward motion, fuck you energy, push kick energy. So, but so I was working that a lot. Then I was doing yoga like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? And then I started doing dance classes to work rhythm. Now, Jay, you go to Puerto Rico. Why? Well, Elvin Burrito is a former BKFC champion. He's fought Palomino twice. He's
Yep.
fought some of the best in his division, and uh, don't get me wrong, whatever, think what you want. It's a former champion. I got access to a former champion. Why would I not want to pick his brain? When he's been in it before a lot of us. I think he was
Yeah, no.
right in. I think he was like maybe in the first and second bare knuckle event
Yeah,
ever.
he's real early in the game. Yeah.
So like you got a vet, you got connections to a vet. And bare knuckle.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get me some time with him. I'm gonna pick his brain, and then I'm gonna come in with my superpowers. With my experience and stuff like that, and then we cook that shit up. Whatever, and we take La Pica, we take the beach runs, and work with some of these. Like I said, I work with some good boxers around here also, because Puerto Ricans is a hidden gem in boxing. And you take these connections and you try to turn. We try to excel. We're trying to get better. We want different. So I want to try to have something different for every fight. And I feel like that's just my little sprinkle of difference is working with Elvin.
So let's get into the fights you got coming up. And we might come back to the other fights though. You got Kyle McElroy. I think I seen him fight before. What do you know about his fighting style?
Bump, 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 bump. I see that he tried to like a Superman punch one time.
Superman punch.
Uh, I don't know, something like that. It was off the line. Shit was tight. Uh, it was. I was like, damn. I can, boxing style. I think
Okay.
boxing style. You know, um, yeah, it's like a boxing style. That's the best way I can put it. I don't think it's a Muay Thai. I don't think it's like a kickboxing. I think it's a boxing style. And you know, I've done boxing, so it's just like, all right, fuck with me.
So how important is it to get back to back wins going into this fight? Because you have like a win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. I mean, but you got a lot of fights for bare knuckle. I will say that.
All right,
So it's
it's
important
important.
to
I
try
got
to
you.
get the back to back wins.
Yeah, it is. I need it,
Yeah.
but I'm cool with it. Like, hey, like I said, it's not bad pressure.
Yeah.
Like it's not bad pressure, bro. It's not pressure. It's not bad pressure. It's like like it is what it is. You know, um, you know, it's experience is experience, man. And I'm
Yeah.
well, I'm like 4-3. I'd be 5-3. 5-3 sounds fantastic. That sounds delicious.
No, that's a winning record.
And I'm already 4-3. That's straight. But 5-3, beautiful.
Yeah.
I just messed up. Biggest show of the year, man. And I could have already been kind of where I was at. Or whatever. But that was the biggest show of the year. I'm not someone who likes to cut weight. I really don't.
Yeah.
And they gave me the opportunity to fight on the biggest show of the year. And oh no, that's the reason why. Like if you play, I don't know how much research you do or whatever, but if you see, they used my last poster, which made me so mad, with a black eye,
Oh
because
man.
I literally fought back to back. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like when I took pictures for that next show, I still had a black eye from the last show because it was
Oh
only been
shit.
it was only about it was about 3.5 weeks apart, maybe four.
Yeah.
But look, the contract didn't get finalized or finished until about 2 or maybe a week and a half out. So I got offered it. I got offered it maybe like, I want to say about like like on the note, if it was on someone else's side, probably like 3 weeks out. It felt like a week and a half for me. Until
Mhm.
everything got finalized, and then I had to cut down to 75.
Okay.
While still recovering from the last fight, and with bare knuckle being bare knuckle. Don't get me wrong, I'm a tough son of a bitch. I don't regret it. But the fact is, it's just like you gotta. I didn't have no time to recover. Really, my face was still swollen a little bit, as you see by the picture of my last fight. They used. I had a black eye before I went into the ring, so so I was fresh. I was still fresh, and I was still ready to go. And we still had a banger of the first round. but there's some stuff there, whatever. But yeah, I never want to fight at 75 again. I really don't. And number two, you just got to be smart as much as you want to be. We want to be excited. This shit matters. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I gotta get this one. I mean, and when I say I gotta get this one, I gotta get it for me because 5-3 sounds delicious. Okay, it sounds watchable.
Yeah.
And we are in the time of influence. So I can be a bigger influence. It will help my stock, my brand to be 5-3. J Action Jackson with 5 finishes. I mean, like it sounds perfect. So it's just like that's why it's important to me. I mean, to get this one.
So Kyle only has 2 wins, but he's only got 1 less fight than you. So is this experience any reason to not doubt him?
I don't know. I mean, I'll keep that to the viewer
Okay.
who might want to watch the, who might know and want to be and have opinion. I'll leave that to you guys. Um, I'm gonna take every fight that I get seriously. I mean, he's a former heavyweight.
Okay.
He cut down to 185. So obviously he's done some work. And I'm gonna do me. What I mean? Like fuck it. That's it. I mean, 'cause that's how it goes, man. I mean, even with my Idris Wasi when I mean I've also learned from that. I beat him. I mean, whatever, but it was a fight. What I mean? And
Uh-huh.
stuff happened in the fight, but I didn't get knocked down or nothing like that. But we still scrapped. And some people get microscoped and shit. I mean, and I think I'm one of the guys who get microscoped a little bit. So if I get hit, like I will not, I will knock fucking Kyle clean out in the third round. If he hit me one time in the first round or the second round, what I mean, it's like, oh look, Kyle's back, and Jay just knocked him out in the third round. So it can be like that, or I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna wipe his ass out in the first round because I don't give a fuck. And it just depends on what's on my playlist when I lock out. So I'll make sure my playlist is off the chain, and we try to finish it quick, so we ain't have no time to microscope. We just hit them, and we get the dub. Like I'm super determined to get that done.
So it's been 10 months since your last fight. I mean, do you expect any rust in maybe the first round?
I'm talking about for me.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good, bro.
Is there a thing of that? Is there a thing of like fighters being rusty if they haven't fought in a while?
Depends on lifestyle, homie. Frey, like
Okay.
that depends on lifestyle. I mean, ring rust can mean anything. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, uh, respect the human race, respect America. I mean, people got jobs. I mean, people have
Yeah.
families. People have illnesses. What I mean, whatever. So yeah, ring rust, whatever. I'm not worried about that part. I mean, I'm oiled up. I'm clean. What I mean? Like, I'm so clean. I'm so ready. I'm ready to fight tonight. And so the ring rust theory, maybe, yeah, maybe. What I mean? But I know I'm ready to fight tonight. What I mean? Like I know I put in that work. I've done some. In them 10 months, I've done some shit. I've done a lot of shit. So, uh, I'm pretty confident I'm pretty confident that ring rust is not gonna be an issue.
Now, how hard is it to get steady fights in bare knuckle? Because you see a lot of guys that don't fight for a whole year. Is that you think that's because they don't put on a good performance?
I think it just depends, man. Like I told you earlier, we're kind of in the age of influence. So,
Think it has something to do with following and stuff too?
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it has something to do with that, but it can be because, like I said,
Okay.
you got to be marketable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, there's always the extremes. It's something that people used to call on television called jump the shark. And I think sometimes a lot of us do that. What I mean, trying to do too much, or so you gotta watch out to jump the shark when you're trying to get BKFC's attention. Um, but at the same time, though, you got to show that you are marketable and that just when it's time for them to put the camera on you, uh, you got something to display, or you got something that's going to bring viewerships to the organization also because they have a business to run, which I understand completely. I got like I said, I got a lot of lucky things in my life. And, I went viral a couple of years back, 10 years back in an amateur fight. I travel around and I try to get my name out there before they even legalized shit in Los Angeles. My ass
Uh
was
huh.
in front of the big corn stadium, passing out my card.
Oh
You know, what I
shit.
mean, because I had connections. I'm a cowboy. I've traveled around all over the place. So like I had connections in Los Angeles, like you got to remember, like especially when in the entertainment life, what
Yeah.
you got to remember your three. You got to remember New York, Los Angeles, and Atlanta. I mean
Yeah.
these are three capitals
Yeah. Yeah.
of entertainment. And Los
Yeah.
Angeles being the White House of that shit. I mean
Yeah.
it's literally the White House. Is either you got really broke actors or you really rich ones, and they're all there. So I actually at one time where I know that BKFC is at this time of expansion, and I want to be part of that expansion. Especially when I had one of those type of, I had one of those knockouts, and I was on that type of card. So like
Yeah.
I wanted to keep that amber light going. You know what I mean? So I went to Los Angeles, did seminars there because like I said, I used to live in Los Angeles. I remember the entertainment grind of living in gyms and and you got to market yourself. Yeah, man. So I went passed my card out around Los Angeles. I did a seminar in Lancaster. Um, I still stay connected to the people over there. I still stay connected to all the people that I fought all over. Including around the world. So I try to stay connected. We make a team. We got to keep our light. You got to keep the Jackson light on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we do get picked up and get fights. Is it hard to stay consistent in fighting? Yes. Yeah, I mean, especially in bare knuckle because we're in that time of influence. But note that it's not that hard to gain influence, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
can't get discouraged. You can't get discouraged. You got to be confident in what you bring to the table. Uh, I'm very confident in what I bring to the table. I do a lot of adventures. Um, I have no problem with the fans and stuff like that. A little camera shy every once in a while though, but that's I mean, like that's part of the game. Yeah, I mean, like as much as we say we don't want it, we kind of want it because that's the point of being the fighter. What I mean, is to be an action star. So, be an action star, be
Yeah.
cool with it, and then make sure the magic comes out when you fight. And that's kind of what you see in my fights. I try to make sure that, don't get me wrong, I want to be technical and be dominant, but I want it to be nice and crispy. I wanted to be watchable.
So your personal trainer says you're a business owner. Now, do you think it's impossible to make a living when you first start out as a fighter if you don't have another income?
Dude, it's impossible, dude. I like, it's not. It's a hustle. So let me
Okay.
shut that up. It's a hustle, dude. It's a fucking hustle. So, um, like my first 9 years, I mean, I still work 9 to 5s. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So like, though, yeah, I get it. Whatever. But my social medias are my business platform, and I'm showing you guys what I'm doing. I mean? But when it comes to income in my businesses, I mean? I like I said, I did seminars. I do personal training. I've worked with people personally on techniques, not just in bare knuckle, but in MMA and jiu-jitsu, because I've done all of it. Man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did judo in college. I got a pad holding certificate in Phuket in Thailand. So I help mitts from people from, and I've helped people in New Zealand and South Carolina and Georgia and all over Michigan. I mean, I helped them find an outlet of learning mixed martial arts without having to think it's blood sport.
Uh huh.
Uh, one of my clients, I helped one of my clients lose, I want to say 50 pounds in 3 months.
Damn,
Uh, yeah, and I mean, like
that's
I'm
pretty
not
good.
even not bullshit.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
pretty
three
good.
hours of 3 hours a week, and in the second one we had him running 3 miles without stopping. With me riding a bike behind him in little Auburn, Michigan. So we got him down. You know, I think like maybe a few months later, he wearing a new outfit at a little at a Nicki Minaj concert, some shit. And I was proud as fuck about it because you know what I mean. I had something to do with that shit. You know
Yeah,
what I mean. That was my business. You know what I mean. So I got to see those type of results. Now, did it pay well? I mean, like I said, it paid what it needed to pay. You know what I mean? Was it a hustle? Definitely. Is this shit a hustle? Completely. But with the growth of the company, you gotta just hold on tight and just try to do your part, do your best to stay as low as you can. Um, it's not like I said, and that's another part too. That's hard, you know what I mean? Because people got to eat. We all got to eat, but if you hold on, I try to hold on, try to stay loyal, try to push people towards sport because we want people to watch the sport. You know what I mean? Breaking down the company is not gonna raise my check.
yeah,
So it's just like, I gotta do my part to get people to watch the show. You know what I mean? Because the more people who watch the show, the more chances that the chances that my checks will finally go up. You know what I mean? And you know, what is life without hard? I mean, my thing is like if I didn't have to work for it, then it wouldn't be worth doing.
that makes
So,
sense. That makes sense.
I wouldn't be able to fucking work out every day. I wouldn't have no drive. So I mean, I kind of, so there's a love and hate, but I work hard, and the money comes and goes, but I'm doing something I love to do.
So speaking of the growth of BKFC, I've asked a lot of people, can it pass the UFC? And everybody pretty much says yeah. So my question would be, will it pass the UFC?
I don't know. UFC's in the White House, bro. If you haven't been watching the news, so that's a high level. I don't know if I want BKFC in the White House. So you know, I just say just keep people watching, keep it exciting. I think that we keep putting on badass fucking fights and
Yeah,
not get boring. You know, let keep it competition, but don't lose the drive for the fight, man. Uh, I can see us, leveling up and keep, I think we have great momentum. Like, we're just not in the White House. Dana's in the White House. So, you know, yeah. I mean, you know, I don't think we're getting there yet. But will I be part of the growth of this company? Hell yeah, I don't want to be part of the downfall. You know, uh, I want to be a personality. I want to be a genuine. I just want to be a genuine person. I don't want to be, I want my fights to speak for themselves and grow the sport with my fights. And and yeah, like, and I want to be part of the growth. I hope we do. Now, if it gets bigger than the UFC, I'm going to be happy. I want to be happy to know that my fights, just a couple of my fights did that. Um, and yeah, I think we are way more entertaining right now than MMA. Definitely.
I
Yeah, I
do
mean,
too.
we have no choice. We have no choice. We have no
Yeah,
choice, man. I mean, if not, then it's either it can be left or right. It's like we can either A, keep it entertaining, or B, we start getting boring, and that's gonna slow us down. Slow us the fuck down. So we just gotta, that's pressure to keep on us fighters, man, to keep them bangers.
yeah. Because
Cause
BKFC had a couple boring cards. Like the Mexico one was pretty awkward.
yeah,
And then there was one recently, like a few cards ago, that was really, really terrible. That was the one where old boy was complaining his back got hurt.
oh my
The
God, to
Prince,
Los Angeles. Was that
yeah,
LA? That was
yeah, Topanga,
Pachanga.
yeah, Pachanga, yeah. That wasn't too.
Pachanga.
Yeah, that wasn't too good, man.
That was funny.
It
Yeah, it hurt
was
my
because it
back.
seemed like everybody started quitting after old boy started quitting.
And then like if we have them situations, them arms pop out and shit. You know what I mean? Like that's why I be trying to. That's what, dude. I tell you this right now. I'm watching, man. I'm like, man. That's why I be trying to do my yoga, man. You know what I mean? Like I don't want no joint to pop out. You know what I mean? Or nothing like that. But but when I'm saying that shit happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
no,
we
you can't.
recover. Knucklemania was
Yeah,
fucking nasty.
you can't hit a home run every
Knucklemania was
time, dude.
Knucklemania was a home run, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
Knucklemania was and from fucking one card all the way to the end, bro. I love that fucking card.
The
Uh
Florida cards are always stacked. The Spain one was really good with the
Spain one was
bullfighting
sucking
one.
stank. See, like so we recover, man. I mean come on now. I'm not like I said, I'm not I'm just saying, like, I'm not dogging out skilled fighters. I'm not dogging out skilled fights. I'm just saying, like, the responsibility is on us. We got to keep them. We got to keep you guys in your seats
Entertained.
and
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
entertained. So, and I think that's and I think that's another reason why I've been consistently in the ring. I think I have very entertaining fights. So I don't, and I say that very. I'm saying that very humbly. I think me and Kyle will have a banger fight. I'm a bang. Cause I'm there to fight, man. So let's fight. And you know, um, I'm just happy he signed a contract. And I think I always deliver something that BKFC wants. Regardless on how I think of anything. I think I always give BKFC, the fans and whoever there and watches all over the world. I give them something to watch or something to analyze, and I keep them in there. So I want to be part of that rise. If BKFC does make it over to UFC, I want to be one of the reasons.
So what can we expect on the 28th?
Me being in mad shape, well, that's it. Boy, boy been pumping. Um, Calm, relax. You know, see me. See volume. You're gonna see movement, and see me having a good time. So I've been waiting 10 months, bro. 10 months. So on some factual shit, 10 months. I know, but but it was also been some ups and downs. It's not my fault. You know, um, I respect all you guys, my BKFC roster. Uh, I respect my champ. I want to fight Richmond because he's the champ now. You know what I mean? Like it's mindset. It's not nothing personal. He's the champ, Richmond. You know
That's
what I
the
mean? A couple
goal.
weeks ago, it was Warren. He
Yeah.
lost. You know
Oh,
what I
he
mean? And
got
guess what?
yeah.
And there was more excitement for that because that made my training even doper. I'm working this, I'm working that. You know what I mean? Doing this and doing that. But then Warren loses. It changes. Now it changed. It fucks up the whole book. And it's like now it's Richmond. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's just like, what can I do to get to Richmond? And it's just like, um, yeah, it's like let's go. And on the 28th, I want everyone to tune in. I want you guys to watch and enjoy what I bring. I always, I leave it in the ring, man. I love fighting, so I think me
Well,
and Kyle are gonna bang it out, and I think I can do it. I think I can give you guys what you want, regardless of what results you want. Entertainment, you're about to get that on the 28th. You will always get that. If J Jackson on the card, we banging. It's what we fighting from round one to round five, or from total line to the to the dead sudden death round. Fuck it, let's go.
yeah, Action Jackson was big when I was a kid.
Uh,
All right, well, we got 8 more days, man. I can't wait. It's gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be a pretty good card. You got Keith Richardson trying to redeem himself, get his title shot back.
yep.
You trying to get 2 straight, which I think that helps too. You know what I'm saying? You start getting a streak going. They gotta take you more serious for a title shot and stuff like that.
I think, like I said, it's gonna be like I said, it's about what I display, man. Like I said, I'm microscope. You know what I mean? And I'm in that thing where I got it, like, and I like this pressure. Don't get me wrong, I hate the pressure, but I like this pressure. It keeps pressure on my performance. So it keeps me on my toes about my performance. So I'm not saying I'm getting treated worse. So what I'm saying is that I got everything. I just have to perform, and I got to make sure that my performance is flawless. And you know that's why we train hard. And then if I with that type of pressure, that makes me train hard, makes me try new shit, and you know keeps me in shape. And then once I get in that fight, everything's just second nature. Now everything's just muscle memory from there.
Well, before I let you go, any shout outs you want to do?
Uh, Shout out to El Burrito, you know what I mean, Jungle
Yep.
Camp, you know what I mean, Jungle Camp. Thank you guys. Koi Muay Thai in Newport Richie and Brandon, Smith Brothers Gym in Hudson, you know, Storm Management. Uh, my mama, I love you to death. Um, MBO Box, fitness gym that we work out here. Combat 360 in San Juan. I love you guys. And just all the bare knuckle fans and everything like that. Embroidery, the people who run my hats, you know what I mean? Check, you know,
Okay.
check my Facebook
Action
or
Jackson.
Instagram. You know, he makes these for me. You know, small business guy. You know what I mean? Trying, you know what I mean? He makes these for me. So ask me, you know, whatever you want. You know what I mean? But this is pretty good shit. I can't wait to wear it. And you know, bucked up. I did my commercial for them. So you know, yeah, I bucked up. So that was pretty cool. And yeah, man, just I see you guys next week.
Is Elvin gonna be in your corner?
Elvin's gonna be there. Yeah, it's gonna be me and Elvin. Yeah, me and
That's
Elvin
what's up.
flying out.
That's
Yeah,
what's up.
me and Elvin gonna fly out, and like I said we're gonna represent Manabo. Yeah, I mean, I was here for a few months. So I'm really representing Manabo too. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, ID training in Saginaw, Michigan. I love Michigan,
Okay.
dude. You know what I mean? Like I said, you know, great gym, great guys up there. Gideon Botson Gym. I love those guys in Saginaw. Love Michigan. You know what I mean? So real talk. Always gonna represent Michigan, but yeah, I'm gonna be representing Michigan, Florida, and Manabo, Puerto Rico for this fight. It's gonna be awesome.
Well, appreciate you
And
taking time out.
Albuquerque.
Okay.
Yeah,
Appreciate you taking time out. You're welcome on any time. You know, I'm definitely be tuning in, and I can't wait, man.
Paul, thank you, man. Thank you for having me, guys. And you know, hey, have a good one, dude. Thank you so much.
All right, tell Elvin I said what's up, man.
100%.
All right, appreciate it, man.
All right.
All right, peace. Well, there you have it. Jay Action Jackson. We'll be fighting in Albuquerque in 8 days. That's BKFC Fight Night Albuquerque. Of course, you got Richardson versus Usmanov. I know I always butcher the Russian names, a lot of these international names. I want to see what other fights we got that's interested on there. Of course, you got Jay. He's going to be fighting Kyle McElroy. Um, you got Wild Bill versus Fields. You got my guy Ruben Arroyo fighting Lorenzo Coca. You got my guy Justin Martinez fighting Garcia, who actually lost to Prince Gutierrez, so that's going to be interesting. You got Derek Perez. You got Van Vo on the ticket fighting John Dotson's brother, Eric Dotson. Yeah, it's gonna be looks like a very interesting card, man. Very interesting card. Can't wait. Three friends of the show on this card. So, you know, I am biased towards the people I interview. So I will be rooting for them. Appreciate everybody tuning in on Instagram, tune in on Facebook, tune in on YouTube. Um, yeah, man. And you got what else we got going on BKC? I mean, you got a lot of events coming up here soon. You got another Philly event. You got Philly Friday, March 21st. You got BKC Hollywood, March 27th, which is literally 6 days after. And you got Palomino versus Davis. That is going to be super duper interesting as well. Definitely didn't see that fight coming. You got Justin Ibarola versus Velasquez. Who else? You got Garcia's on this fight. Chris Garcia fighting Armas. You got Peter Peraza, Rodriguez. You got Rambo Russo making his comeback fighting Justice Street. That's going to be interesting. Shouts out to Rambo Russo. Go check that interview out as well. You got another fight in Manchester, the 29th. I mean, they're literally doing the 21st Philly, 27th Hollywood, Florida, and literally 2 days later, they're doing 29th. And actually doing BKFC Hollywood, Florida on Thursday. I'm not used to them doing Thursdays. Then you got the 2 day event in Dubai. You got Trout versus Trinidad Snake. Should be interviewing Trinidad Snake here very, very soon because he says as soon as he gets his new fight, we can set up an interview. You got Kai Stewart versus Stridham. Let me see if they got any more fights around. Well, I know you got Jessica Borga versus Hannah Rankin. I'm so excited for Borga on that. She's really been wanting that fight, and they really haven't had enough fighters in her weight class as of yet. They only had like 3 or 4 fighters, and Rankin's got 1 fight under her belt. She's a pretty big name. Borga's pretty much 2-0 in that division. So now they're gonna actually fight for the belt, and whatnot. And I ain't gonna lie, I will be rooting for Borga. She is my favorite female fighter in BKFC. You also got Britton Hart versus Anne-Marie as well. So you got a female fight on each day of that card, which is good because I kind of feel like we're not seeing enough female fights lately. And then you got Italy. We got Camozzi versus Hunt fight 2, where Hunt's about to try to get his belt back, and I think Lorenzo Hunt probably will win that. It's hard to really bet against Lorenzo Hunt. I will say that it really is. The juggernaut is really a juggernaut. He's a beast. I mean, he's got 2 losses, but one's against Gustavo Trujillo, who is now in the BYB, if I'm not mistaken, and he's undefeated in that still. And then the Mick Terrell, which we do know that Lorenzo Hunt fell and messed up his shoulder, and once you pretty much mess up your shoulder in the middle of a fight, it's gonna be almost impossible, I think, to win a bare knuckle fight like that. But yeah, a lot of events coming up, man, in the next couple months. BKFC. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Paul Pickett Podcast, aka Triple P, aka the Common Sense Podcast, your source for music, sports, politics, world events, and much, much more. And I'm about to be out as soon as I find this outro. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Remember, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube is where I'll go live. I'm going to start going live for all the interviews. They all have been pre-recorded. Typically up to this point, I was pre-recording my interviews and putting out a shit ton of clips. But now we're going to go live for the interviews and still put out a shit ton of clips. And the audio version is also available on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, iHeartRadio, Player FM, and much, much more. So I repeat, the audio version is also available on all the music streaming platforms and audio streaming platforms pretty much worldwide as well. Appreciate y'all tuning in, and peace, and I'm out.